Welcome to the Supplement Engineer Podcast. My name is Robert Chinetsky. Joining me as always for our weekly recap of all things supplements is the fabulous, the fresh, the frisky founder of Supplement Snoop, Mr. Justin Hall. How are you, my man?
I am. You know what? That was a great intro because I'm feeling pretty damn good today. Last night was the best sleep I've got in a damn long time, and I'm feeling good today, man.
Excellent. Did you supplement your nighttime routine with any kind of sleep aid? Is that why?
Yeah, which I normally do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Something to at least sort of just, you know how it goes. It's like when you're just going all day long. It's pretty hard to slow it down.
Yep.
So I was talking to the guys over at Glaxon
Mm-hmm.
about, we got that Serenity product last week.
Yep.
And I was like, well, what about taking that with sedative, their sleep aid? And, sometimes I'll throw a question at them, just like, not as a joke, but, maybe like, and they responded, they're like, oh, yeah, we've tried that. And like, well, of course you have. And so I took some Serenity last night and sedative, and man, I was
Good stuff.
Yeah, I was. It didn't like knock me out. Like I wasn't like tranquilized. I went to bed. It was like 1:30 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, I wasn't super tired. But as soon as I laid down, man, that was it.
Three sheets to the wind.
And I slept. And I woke up. I wasn't like groggy or anything like that, or like hungover. But I just didn't want to get out of bed. I was like, this is really comfortable, and I just want to stay here like all day long. So. It was pretty cool. It was definitely noticeable.
Awesome. Yeah, the Glaxon guys hooked me up. I got a nice little care package from them. It either arrived Saturday in the mail or Monday. But I was talking with, I'm not sure who runs the Glaxon.
You guys are
official.
neighbors.
The what?
You guys are basically neighbors.
Yeah. They're down in Houston. I'm in Austin. I'm not sure who's actually running the I Am Glaxon IG account. So it might have been
several.
Yeah, there could have been several. So I'm not sure if it was Mike. I mean, I know Joey's over at Supplement Lab, and Sam's got his own thing. But whichever person from the Glaxon triumvirate I was dealing with, they were super nice, very appreciative of all the coverage we give them and the nice things we have to say about the podcast. And so they sent me a nice little goodie basket of sedative, Serenity, a bunch of sample packets, and I've got Flight that I'm actually going to be able to take for a ride now. So I'm thinking of starting that run tonight and just stacking all three of those together as like the nighttime.
That's what I did.
The nighttime sleep pack, sedative, Flight, and Serenity, and just seeing do I wake up tomorrow morning or not, and we'll just see what happens. But I'm super excited to try that out.
Yeah, actually, because I took Flight also. I still take Flight. People have asked me like, what I think about that product. I'm like, I'm still taking it. So yeah. It's a cool one. Took me, like I said. There was some things I noticed right away as far as sleep goes, but as far as like the full benefits of the product, I would say it took like 3 weeks to a month. Okay. But yeah, I took Serenity. So what I did last night when I took Serenity is I took 2 caps. The serving is three right. Caps. I took 2, and then I took 2 more right before bed. Like I took 2 caps probably a couple hours before bed. Just to chill, and then I took 2 more with sedative and Flight when I went to sleep, and I said it was awesome. So enjoy.
I'm gonna have to start giving Sandy Serenity because school's winding down, so there's about 2 weeks left. So in addition to teaching, freshman, sophomore, and junior level math courses, she's also the dean of the entire freshman class. So with that, there are much more interpersonal interactions that she has to do, as far as the parents will contact her saying, oh, well, Miss So-and-so teacher said this mean thing to my daughter, or this other student said this mean thing about my daughter. So it is a lot of politicking and massaging egos and trying to keep everybody happy. And, this last 2 weeks of the semester, and she's kind of tapping out on it just because she's on conference calls. In addition to the classes that she's teaching every day, she's got other conferences with parents, or has got emails, and she's also trying to grade stuff. So, I mean, when it's time for us to go to bed at night, she is still freaking wired. So she'll either take like a Benadryl to like take the edge off, or I'll give her some of the 600 milligram serving KSM with some theanine, or something. So I'm about to start. I'm going to load her up with Serenity tonight and see
I'm gonna load her up.
see how that works with her and see if that kind of takes the edge off, because she's been super wired this week.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we've talked about before. Like, I don't stress out about stuff, but it doesn't mean, like I said, I was taking Serenity post workout just as a way that I guess that's probably my most like stressful time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people only think of stress as some sort of mental, like you're having anxiety and stuff like that. Yeah. But the last few days have been pretty intense. And that's what I cannot go to sleep at night because you're just going.
Yep.
And so have you taken Serenity yet?
I have not, no. I was wrapping up a run of some other product, and I wanted to give my body a day or two of no kind of sleep aids or anything else like that, just to give this a clean bill of health and run it through.
So you're just going to jump right into Serenity, Sedative, and Flight?
Well, I've already done an entire bottle of Sedative before. So when Glaxon was first launching, Sam, sent me one or two products to try out. So I had tried the greens before, Xeno, the Keto Carb product, and Sedative. And I've still got a little bit left of all of those other ones, but Sedative. And I blew through that because I loved it that much. And so, I think I'm just going to jump full bore into it with that. Maybe I'll do just Serenity for a couple nights by itself, stacked with Flight, since Flight doesn't have any kind of sleep promoting agents in it. It's more of a recovery thing. So maybe I'll just jump full bore into it that way. We'll see. We'll see.
And that's the interesting thing, because I started tinkering around with that while I do remember someone suggesting, because like there was something with like the pomegranate that's in Flight that it might actually possibly interfere with sleep. But I started using Baso 6 at night. You and I have discussed this lots of times. It seems like when I add some sort of blood flow agent, like a pomegranate might be, that I've slept better. So while it's not a direct sleep aid, it might help in some way, shape, or form work with those other ingredients that are in there, sort of get you where you want to go. I will say this, like, I had been waiting because we usually have meetings in the morning, and I'm like, well, I don't want to I don't want to try something new as far as sleep goes when I have to be up in the morning. And I tell you what, I had that podcast today with Danny at noon, and I'm like, okay, well, that's plenty of time.
Right.
It almost was not enough time. Like I was just like, and maybe it's because I might not have had any cortisol in my body whatsoever, but I was like, I just want to hang out in bed. But I wasn't tired. Like I wasn't, like I said, groggy and like hungover. I was just chilling, man. I was good. I was like, let's just stay here for a while. So
yeah, that happens every now and then. And maybe it's just because you've been grinding hard the past couple of weeks. And I've noticed it myself. If I get into like the end of the month, notoriously is crunch time for me, as far as from like a content need standpoint, because you've got various people saying, oh, well, hey, we're going to launch this product at the beginning of that month, or, we're trying to hit a certain quota for articles or something like that, whatever it is. And so I'm the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm, from like morning till night, hounding away either on studies or writing or whatever. And so it sure enough, it happened Wednesday of this past week, yesterday, where you finally wake up one morning and it's kind of like you finally slowed down, you've kind of caught up with everything. There's no super urgent demands. And
you're like, holy shit, I'm tired.
And you realize, my brain's it's kind of tapped out. And just so saying, I took a relaxful morning yesterday morning where we didn't really do, because Wednesdays are her days where she doesn't have to teach. She's got one meeting at 9. But we went for a long walk around the neighborhood and then watched some NCIS episodes on Netflix for like 3 hours and just didn't do anything. It was nice. So
that was I had
Speak
a window
of the devil, there she is. Hello, America.
Oh no, I don't look at
it. Yes, almost. It is. You can finish it off. All right.
Yeah, because I did that yesterday. I noticed it was once like yesterday afternoon hit, I realized because today was going to be a really jam-packed day. I'm like, shit, I have about not 24 hours, but maybe 12, 14 hours. I was like, where I have a nice little window, and I actually didn't answer any more questions. I put my phone away.
Smart.
I took a little bit of Serenity later on that night, but we started watching Supernatural. Did you ever watch that show? Supernatural.
I've heard of it. I have not seen it. It's sci-fi, I'm assuming.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's we're watching on Netflix, but that's like what I did last night. I just unplugged for a while and just kind of chilled. Like I said, I knew today was going to be a little rough and in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just nice to. So then adding that in at the end of the night, man, I was down for the count last night. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing when you can kind of take that break and recharge. Would you recommend Supernatural is worth watching? And is the series finished to where you can basically watch the entire thing, or are they still releasing new seasons?
So I think they're in their 15th season right now. Okay, so here's something funny because I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I had heard of the show. I heard it was popular and stuff like that, and then I didn't know it was still going. Now there's like 20 some episodes a season, and there's 15 seasons. Yeah. So you could be there a while.
Yeah.
But we started watching it, and yeah, we love it. I mean, it's cheesy and funny, and it's just really good. So we powered through a lot of that last night. So we still have, I don't know, many seasons to go.
Awesome. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing with NCIS. I mean, we've caught episodes on and off over the years since. I mean, it debuted back in like 03, 04, something like that. They're on their 18th or 19th season now, and Netflix has the first 15 or 16 seasons. So I mean, we've obviously caught episodes intermittently, and that was we first started watching it heavily was on our honeymoon, actually. In between, all the other things that you do on your honeymoon, going out to eat, relaxing, walking in nature, all of those good things that you do on a honeymoon.
Sure.
We go through and started watching. We're on season 5, and I mean, there's still more seasons to come, and it's good because they don't get too invested. A lot of times with dramas, it gets too into the personal lives of the people, and I don't really care. I like the formulaic series. That's why I like the original Law and Order so much, is that it's very formulaic. Somebody dies, we got to figure out what happens, the lawyers come in, fight it out, and then guilty verdict, you're on to the next episode. There might be, a little sprinkling here or there of, oh, well, I'm dating this person, oh, I slept with this person, but that's not the main crux of the show. It's figuring out how these people died.
I know you don't care about people, Robert. I know.
No, that's why Dexter was such a good fit.
Like, are we going to kill these people or not?
Well, yeah, I get it. We figured it out. Sandy said, yeah, you're kind of a combination of Gibbs from NCIS and Dexter. So, and they said, well, hey, when Gibbs is interacting with his daughter on the show, or they show flashbacks or anything like that, do you get little warm and fuzzy feelings about you and Sophia? And I said, no.
I don't get warm and fuzzy feelings unless it's from Bourbon.
Yeah, seeing those kind of affectionate interactions. No, just get to the real stuff.
It's a little scary, but it's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah. So back to supplement talk, since we took that huge left turn right there. Any other goodies grace your doorstep this week?
Yeah. So, here's one you like. I got some Nutrabio. What is it? Chocolate peanut butter Bliss. We got. I think you and I
did tried taste stuff. Yeah.
So they just released it in the Muscle Matrix, which is my personal favorite formula that they make. It's basically a half and half casein isolate.
Yep.
Casein isolate, right? I think it's casein isolate. Anyway, that's really good. It's like someone asked me about it last night. I was like, my first reaction, I was like, wow, it's a lot of peanut butter. Mm-hmm. Actually, what it is, and maybe to some people it'll be the same thing, but it's very like peanut. Like not necessarily like peanut butter, but it's like peanut flavor. It was really good. So I tried that. They did another good job on flavors, which is at this point it's like, okay, good job.
Yeah, the hurdle of Nutrabio having bad flavors is kind of it's almost a year old now, because that they've made such leaps and bounds since they started that huge tour de force of releases that they did at the early beginning of 2019.
Yeah. I think that I got the product before, but couldn't talk about it until Core released their pump product on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was a really good one. It's hard because Core Fury, the pumps on that thing are so insane as it is. And it's such a loaded product that didn't leave a whole lot left.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I liked, and I don't know if you and I talked about this before already, So the pre has CDP choline, and then the pump has alpha GPC. So you get both of those, and then the pump has more citrulline. It's got beta-alanine. It's got pico-2. I think they went with the nitrates.
Yeah.
The nitrate pump. So
is there any huperzine in either of those?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you end up getting like a choline blowout or anything from the alpha GPC with the CDP?
No, it was awesome. Awesome combination that they did. They keep delivering. I know we talked about this several times. I think if between them and Glaxon, I feel like there is huperzine in their pre-workout in Fury. I'd say between them and Glaxon, we spend a lot of time talking about the cool stuff that they do, and I know Core still has quite a bit that they're still doing. So
yeah.
What else did I get? I can't remember. I got I didn't get a whole lot this week because so last week I think it was the tail end of the week I got the bunch of stuff from DragonPharma, the NeuroMorph, but I don't think we had been able to talk about it then because I think I just got it last week.
Yeah, I think they released the formula for that, didn't they?
Yeah, I got the NeuroMorph and the Venom pre-workout. And NeuroMorph is one. They are big in their S7. I'll tell you that much.
Well, it's a cheap ingredient, so I mean you can throw in a lot of it without it overly jacking up the price or anything. So
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, look at DragonPharma. I mean, they're heavy, massive, marketing and sponsored athletes and stuff like that. But actually, the formulas are still good. I think that's something I mentioned before too. Like when you take a spectrum, especially when you list out the ingredients, it can make it look good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if the ingredients like, so you see, Spectra is in the NeuroMorph S7. S7 is in the pre and the pump. I believe that they have the Mr. Veins and the Venom, but the actual formula for NeuroMorph is pretty good and plays out really well.
Yeah, we've got a gram of tyrosine. We've got 600 milligrams of Alpinia galanga root. We've got 600 of lion's mane, 600 of Nuganda, which is that nootropic form of ashwagandha, 200 of natural caffeine from green tea, 100 milligrams of inositol, 100 milligrams of Spectra, 40 of marigold, which is going to give you lutein and zeaxanthine for some antioxidant benefits for your eye support, and 10 milligrams of black pepper extract.
Yeah, I kind of like that marigold extract. I said, there's some things to like about this formula. I said, and that one's sort of hidden down there. I think that's kind of a cool one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I like it. I've been using it. It's good. Like I said, it's when you get the nootropics and what's the caffeine content going to be, that's usually a big part of it.
Right.
I like that we have a nootropic that doesn't have theanine in it.
Yes.
You don't. I get it. There's a lot of products that I really like, nootropics that have theanine in it, but you don't need theanine in nootropics.
Correct. Yeah. If you do all of the other things right, you don't absolutely have to have theanine in a nootropic.
Right.
And,
you don't have to have theanine in anything.
Correct. Yeah. And what some of the listeners may not understand, or they might be curious, because we don't see Alpinia galanga in a lot of things, and so it's a form of ginger, but it's also, we've previously on the podcast talked about an extra, which is that ingredient. So it sustains the caffeine, helps get rid of the crash, but also has some other kind of nootropic benefits in regards to cognitive function and memory like that. So it's a cool addition to see. So that might be kind of their riff on like a generic broad spectrum kind of form of the an extra extract instead of having to pay for the licensing thing.
Yeah, for some reason I only see the N extra in the UK.
Yeah, it might not be over here yet, or it might be super expensive, kind of like Xynomite was for a while.
Yeah, so right, they're using the actual root, which it's neat. I think it's got some cool things about it. He said it might help with caffeine and keep you a little bit balanced. So I think that's we've been there, done that with the caffeine and theanine combination so many times. It's like hey, maybe there's another way to approach this.
Right.
With maybe something like this. And then I know we've talked about it lots of times in the past because I think Nutrex was using Uganda. I still don't 100% have a grasp on, when it comes to KSM and Sensoril and now Shodan, we know kind of what's going on with what we're doing there. Yeah. But Uganda, I'm still not 100% there with it. But I know some people that are excited about it. They like it. So I don't know what is so like the nootropic effect that is any different from. So if you use a KSM or a Shodan or something like that, the de-stressing and sometimes ashwagandha can be energetic. Yeah. That gives you sort of a nootropic sort of effect, kind of. So I don't know if this is really any different.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask. If you ask somebody that's using the ingredient or some of the researchers that were, behind the development, they're going to say, oh, well, it's this different because we isolated this in this study. But I think if you really get down into like the actual mechanisms of what it's doing in the end, the end effects of it, it's going to be more or less the same. And it's going to kind of boil down to, do you like Sensoril? Do you like KSM? Which one, is more fitting for which situation? Which one is most cost effective given all the other stuff in your product? So.
Yeah, because the Shodan and I'm not sure that it's like 100% the Shodan in Serenity, but you could definitely say that Serenity, depending on who you ask, is like I think you said it perfectly. It's a nootropic sort of style product because it is very in the head, very much, but depends on where you're at. Like if you're some nootropics, we talk about this all the time, are energizing. Mm-hmm. And then some are calming, but also give you focus by calming you. So I think like a lot of people, it's like tyrosine itself. Tyrosine, even though it can lead to dopamine production and stuff like that, tyrosine is like a de-stressing, kind of product. So I think a lot of people just think, oh, tyrosine for energy. That's not really how it works. So it's just kind of weird. It sort of depends on where you're at. If you're struggling for energy, some of these ingredients will boost you up. And then if you're over-energized, it sort of will calm you down and sort of get you in that zone. So I think that's where people just kind of get it a little. And then you can start making a lot of claims with something that's so broad or that can do so many different things in the body. You can really start to throw around some interesting marketing. So
yeah, you can spin the exact same benefits 6 different ways, and I think you and I had covered that with Moody before when the 3 of us did a podcast a while back. So if something has anti-stress benefits, you could say it improves cognitive function, heightens mood, decreases stress, lowers cortisol,
increases testosterone.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of shit like that. Yeah. Reduces oxidative stress since chronic cortisol can lead to excessive inflammation and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, you can, depending on how crafty you are with marketing lingo and advertising and stuff like that. So it's you got to be able to kind of sift through the weeds on everything.
So anyway, I really like the NeuroMorph, and then the Venom pre-workout has changed quite a bit. They did a good job bringing Drew, I think, on their team. Their pre-workouts have undergone some some changes. I think he really kind of simplified them and just went like really straightforward.
Yeah, he's been around the industry for a while and done some stuff. I think he's worked with ProSups before.
Yeah. I know he's been some other places that he would rather not talk about.
Yeah, he's been around a while, so I know that much.
So there's some. It's not as because the last version of Venom was DMHA. And this one is more, it's going back, it's got a pretty good dose of caffeine, got some dynamine, and it's got some yohimbine, so.
Yeah, it's a potent little stem blend, 400 caffeine, 100 dynamine, 100 theanine, 3 yohimbine, and 50 micrograms of huperzine, so I'm glad that the huperzine is on the lower end, especially if you take a nootropic or some other kind of compound, since you and I have hit on this 100 times before that huperzine's in damn near everything today. So,
and then you have the 400 caffeine and 100 theanine. Why not just use? But never mind. We don't have to go down that road again. But so it's solid product. I have not used it yet though, so we'll see. Gotcha. Their offerings that they've come out with on this sort of, I don't want to call it a rebrand, but they the Mr. Vanes was good. The aminos have been good. The NeuroMorph's been good. So they're doing a good job. And like I said, they're I think they already, which was an odd thing, that when they dropped the NeuroMorph, they did a BOGO like right away, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm not on the business aspect of it. I just think that that's kind of interesting. But as far as actual formulas, I think they're on pretty solid stuff.
Yeah. Since we're on the topic of high stim pre-workout, so we just finished we wrapped our review of Iron Brothers Ruthless today, and then we Sandy said, it's a smooth energy, but if she's really pissed off or irritated from school stuff or just burnt out from work, and she says that's not the pre-workout that I want to use. I want something that's actually going to kick me in the teeth. And you've used Ruthless, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was going to talk to you about that. I got it last week, but I hadn't used it yet. But you did.
Yeah, so it's super smooth. So if you're interested in going and see the review, there's a really thorough explanation on it. And listeners can go check out the review on YouTube and see Sandy's gallery of reactions to everything, which are always interesting. But so today she said, I really just want something that's like pow right in the kisser. So what do you think I gave her?
Well, I don't know what you have access to. I don't know what you have.
I gave her a half scoop of Assassin.
Oh, that's right. Well, because you never talk about Assassin because you don't ever take it.
Right, yeah. I usually don't need that stuff, something that high potency.
That word you keep using. You say need. I don't need Assassin either, but I take it.
So yeah, I'm gonna let her run it one more time tomorrow, but let's just say she was feeling great on
only half scoop.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've seen what she is without stimulants in her, so imagine with 300 caffeine, 300 urea-durancis, and everything else that's going on in there going on.
Yeah, but this is the job you signed up for, man. Dude, you're supposed to test these things so that other people don't have to. So that whole need thing that I just don't get. I feel like we should get a review on a full scoop for her.
Okay, I might. We'll see what happens. All right.
What if not? What the hell are we doing here? You're supposed to be testing this stuff.
She's gonna need it tomorrow because she hates training legs. She is your quintessential gym bro. She loves to do push-ups and chest presses and stuff like that, and hates training legs. So I'm gonna give her a full scoop of Assassin tomorrow, and I promised Robbie I would never do that. But we'll see what happens if she survives to live to tell about it next week or not.
Leg day is tough. That's tough to use a full scoop of that on leg day because leg day for me anyway gets me pounding. So right. I've never taken less than a full scoop of it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Or we could save it for our other upper body day on Saturday. I might save it for then. We'll see. But she will do a full scoop, and I'll make this promise to you that I will do a full scoop either tomorrow or Saturday. I'll stop saying need this, and I'll just
just do it, man.
Crush my receptors with full scoop of Assassin.
Absolutely. That's like I said. This is what you signed up for. I feel like you owe it to the people. You owe it to me at least. I think so. I took Ruthless. I guess it was the other day. But you're exactly right. It was really good. There's a lot of caffeine in Ruthless, so it's when you say. Or I say to people, I'm like, well, it's smooth. It's man, it's a lot of caffeine in this product.
It's 390 total.
But when you use something like Assassin, then everything's smooth. In comparison. But no, I think Ruthless. The thing that I've always liked about Mark's pre-workouts, because I have.
The V2.
It was Relentless, right? Relentless was the last one, and now it's Ruthless.
Yeah.
I still have some version 1 Relentless.
Yep.
With DMHA in it, and then I have V2, and now I have this one. And what I can say about each of these, they all will play out as it looks on the label. You know what I mean? And you take that for granted, but there's just a lot of times where you use products. I'm like, well, this is not what's happening.
Correct.
With this formula. Every time I use something from Mark, it's exactly, except for maybe Thermoburn. Thermoburn was even stronger than I anticipated, but
the stim one, because I think it's stim free now, or the one that they had is. So yeah, the original one.
Well, yeah, not only the stimulant one, but the original stimulant one, because he sent me some of that before, and I was like, dude, this thing is ridiculous. But I think that's a good thing about what he does is it's predictable in a good way. Anytime you're going to put a lot of citrulline and pomegranate and tyrosine and some caffeine, it should feel pretty good. Good pumps. I think the pumps on it were really good. I think a normal person would feel really, really good on it with the stimulants. It'd be on the upper end. Like sick fuckers like me, it's like, it's smooth. So but I liked it. I had a really good workout with it the other day. Great pumps.
Yeah, really that's what I was surprised at. I mean, I think I've said this before. At least I mentioned it on the review we did. Is that I don't get a lot of veins in my forearms all that much, but shit, man, with Ruthless, I don't really have to do much of anything, and it's powerful. I very much enjoy it. Yeah,
so I used that the other day. There was the Nutrabio, there was DragonPharma, and I think that was it. Mm-hmm. I'm probably forgetting something, but there's always next week.
That is true. Yeah, there was let's jump down the Stack 3D Newswire, and this came across a couple of days ago. So I know this is your favorite product, your baby. So I want to get your opinion on the VPX Redline, their nootropic energy drink that they came out with.
You want to get my opinion on it?
Yeah, just to see. So we've got a partially transparent label. So we've got electrolytes, we've got calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. But we've also got 2.5 milligrams of betaine, 300 milligrams of caffeine, 250 of cognizin, an undisclosed amount of theanine, undisclosed amount of supercreatine, undisclosed amount of yohimbe extract, standardized yohimbine, and an undisclosed amount of theacrine.
So, I mean, so I like betaine. It's one of my favorite ingredients. Cognizin is good, but I mean, so if you're gonna buy one of these, even if you grab 2 cases, right, you're gonna pay $2.50 a serving. This is the type of shit. This is the shit that this is why I don't like energy drinks. I never will come around to energy drinks.
Yeah.
If you just buy 12 cans, it's $3.33 a drink. I wonder. So if you just buy one at a time, was it like $4, dude? I mean, think about the type of pre-workout you can use. Could you imagine if you had $4 to spend a serving on a pre-workout? The type of insane thing you could make. I don't know why you make me talk about this shit, man. Like, why do you always bring it up? Like, I always gotta say the same fucking thing. Like, if you want to buy an energy drink, knock yourself out.
There's better options out there. Oh yeah, I mean, I like the inclusion of cognizin in this one, and betaine's kind of cool. But once
guess what? Betaine and cognizin and citicoline are in every fucking pre-workout out there for a tenth of the price. So I'm not gonna give them any fucking credit for using betaine in their fucking energy drink.
No, that's fine. And just once you subtract out all of the disclosed ingredients, it leaves you with 232 milligrams. So you're getting like 50 milligrams each of theanine, supercreatine. That's probably shit. If theacrine is last on that list, there's no way you're getting 50 milligrams of a yohimbe extract. There's no freaking way. So you're getting what, maybe 5 milligrams of theacrine in there?
I just, if you want to make the decision to pay someone 3 times as much for them to mix it up for you, then that's all. I mean, do whatever you want to do.
And I'm just not fizzy bubbles in it.
I'm just not doing it.
Yeah. It's speaking of betaine, what we've noticed lately is that, and this didn't always happen because Sandy's been taking pre-workouts on and off for several years now, and I don't know if you or Lila have had any issues, but when you take betaine, do you get any kind of nauseous, queasy feeling, or like higher doses of betaine? Because I mean, I've taken, between 2.5 and probably 4 grams in a pre-workout setting, and I don't have any issues. But as of late, every time we use a pre-workout, that's got I couldn't figure it out for a while because I gave Sandy, 4 or 5 different pre-workouts, and she would come back and say, "Man, I feel nauseous. I don't, I'm either nauseous or tired or something." And she wasn't pregnant. I mean, that wasn't a concern at all. But we figured it out, and I started looking at what the common ingredient between all of these was, and it was betaine. So I didn't know if you had any experience like that, which I also find strange because betaine anhydrous is the one that we usually see in pre-workouts. The hydrochloride form is what's typically used for GI distress and disorders like that. So I'm wondering why it's actually causing nausea.
Yeah, in the hydrochloride version, you see it very low. It's like 100 milligrams usually you'll see, or 50 sometimes, and you'll see the anhydrous. It's usually 2 or 3 grams. So I can't really say I don't have because I don't use betaine like by itself, and I've never like pushed thresholds. But the only pre-workout that comes to mind that I did not like with huge dose of betaine is Myoblocks Loco.
Yeah,
but I can't say that because that also has a shit ton of taurine. Like the one version, I think it was 6 grams of each.
Damn.
And I'm like, I hated that pre-workout. So it's like, I can't say because I don't think a lot of taurine is really great either. Taurine could cause, when you're talking that much betaine, that much taurine, that's a lot going on. I could see make your stomach not feel too great. But I've never had it where I could pinpoint that it was betaine. No.
Yeah, it's something I don't know what's causing it because she's tried it before in years past and not had an issue with it. But the past couple of months, anytime there's a betaine in there, it has not led to good results.
How much is in Ruthless? Is there none?
There's none in Ruthless. That's why she likes it so much, and she likes Vandal because there's none in Moody's pre-workout either.
Huh. Interesting that neither one of them do.
Yeah. But I know, like, I've tried to give her one of Primeval's pre-workouts. That didn't go so well. The Steel Fit one I gave her, and that wasn't boding well. There's 1 or 2 other ones.
I guess that's the tough part is, like, literally every side effect for every ingredient possible is
GI distress.
GI distress, right? Like we've talked about before.
Yep.
Could be. I mean, it could be anytime, it's just one of those ingredients that could do that. I've never had that issue. I don't think. At least not, like I said, not enough where I could pinpoint it. Right. Here's a question. So I didn't look at this. Do you have your Ruthless tub handy?
I can pull up the supplement facts real quick. I had them from when I was doing some video editing earlier. What you got?
Well, because I'm looking at the website version.
Mm-hmm.
So it says citrulline malate 7 grams.
Yeah.
Per 1 scoop, which there's like I don't know if there was a mistake made on the website when they put I didn't look at the actual.
Yeah, the website is there's a typo on that supplement facts that's on the website because it's a 40-20 serve. So 1 full serving, it should say amount per 1 serving, not per 1 scoop. Or they should change the 1 to a 2.
Beta alanine is off then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just realized that I used that supplement facts panel on the review, and that's what makes that's what's goofy.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyway, that was just in front of my face, and it's just something I noticed.
Yeah. So it should be 3.2.
So let's see, what else was there? I think that was it. I think that was all the stuff that I got. Now we got your VPX out of the way. Do you want to
cover
move on to Stacked?
Yeah, I mean, the first page there's not a whole lot. I mean, there's some new proteins coming out. I'm over talking about immune supplements. Everybody under the sun is releasing those. I'm over talking about that.
Whiskey and cola coming to hydraulic.
I did see that. That's cool.
Yeah, hydraulic is stacked, that's for sure.
Nutrex released that new Warrior series. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be, and they're launching the entire line with a BOGO, which is kind of weird.
I haven't looked into this because I just took a brief look at it, and I was like, well, it was like, okay, this is the Warrior series, but it's not. Just the formulas I saw really quick, I was like, well, the other formulas were better.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they're going for with this, to be honest. I have not a clue.
No idea. So yeah, that's what I wanted to get your quick thoughts on that and see if there was anything. But the original stuff seemed to be better. So
this Warrior, right? Because like Outlift and Outlift Amped and stuff like that are killer products. So I have no idea what they're going for when it comes to this. I don't know, because I was like, oh, well, maybe it's, even though it's like the Warrior series and it seems like, oh, that's going to be like a more hardcore version. To me, I was like, well, I wonder if they're going for just like a little, because their products are pretty loaded.
Right.
I was like, I wonder if they're going for like a, because we've seen some of these brands offer, like more simple versions.
Yeah, an economy line or something.
Right, for cheaper. But I was like, wait, this isn't cheap though. At least from what I saw, I was like, so I have not a clue. This is coming from the same company though. Don't forget Nutrex. As much as I like their formulas and stuff like that, they literally advertised that their amino product is better than protein for most protein synthesis when they sell a whole bunch of really awesome proteins. So I can't say that their marketing has always been the most streamlined approach. I remember coming across that the one day. I was like, so people love Nutrex's protein. Nutrex's protein is amazing.
The ISOFIT is phenomenal flavor, and even their plant protein is really good for a plant protein.
Holy shit. And then I saw their EAAs, which I don't know anybody that really like. It's just an amino product, and it was like, oh, it's better than whey. And I was like, why would a company say that about their own products?
Yeah, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth, and it doesn't work at all.
Anyway, so I don't pretend to know the first thing of what their marketing goal is, but anyway, I have no idea what's going on with the Warrior series.
Yeah, it's got to be. I think they're trying to build it as a hardcore line, but if you look at the products, that's
what I mean. It's less hardcore than the regular line.
Yeah, they translated over or moved over some of their the basics. So the EAA is now in there. The Vitadap, their multivitamin, was there, and the old Alpha Pump, which was part of their regular line. Which it would just, I mean, it's not even, I wouldn't say it's all that great of a pump supplement. There's better options out there. So considering a scoop is 8 grams, almost 9 grams, and there's only 2.6 actives in there, so you've got a fuck ton of filler in there.
Yeah, I think they use Vaso 6, and I think that was the first time I saw Uganda was in there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when they have a pre-workout like Outlift Amped, and you make a pump product, what are you going to put in the pump product when you have a pre-workout that has so much in there? I don't know. I don't really know I've never talked to Nutrex. I've never. They do make some cool stuff though. So I think Outlift Amped is really cool. Like I said, I don't know what they're doing with this lineup, this Warrior, but
no idea. I am glad to see Whiskey and Cola. Going back to your previous point, Whiskey and Cola is going to Axe and Sledge's hydraulic.
Yeah, and that is one of, and even I do it. It is one of just very underrated stimulant-free formula. It is killer. The formula itself is killer, and I've used it lots of times, and it's awesome. I'm trying to get the formula up. I haven't looked at the formula in a while, but it's just kind of one of those ones where every time I come across when someone talks about it, I look at the formula and I'm like, damn, that is loaded.
Yeah, and it's so we've covered it before. We've got 5 grams of L-citrulline, 3 grams of Glycer Pump, 2 grams of taurine, 2.4 of beta-alanine, 1,500 of creatine magna power, a gram of agmatine, a gram of tyrosine, a gram of nitrosogene, and 250 milligrams of N-acetyl L-tyrosine.
Yep. So it's kind of one of those ones that people tell me, and if I remember correctly from using it, it's stimulant free, but you get like an energizing, a lot of feel to it. It's got some B complex vitamins in there. So anyway, that formula though is pretty, or the flavor, the whiskey and cola is pretty badass. And like I said, we'll probably be having some whiskey on the live with them tonight. I know you had a great podcast with them.
Yeah, Mike and Pat are good people. Good people.
Oh.
Made for a great conversation.
Yeah, so ironically enough, the Whiskey and Cola Hydraulic will be launching tonight at 8, and we'll probably be on our Zoom meeting with them tonight. So
outstanding.
That'll be cool. Good timing.
Yeah.
And actually, because they didn't ask to come on, like I invited them.
Right.
So it wasn't a promotional thing.
Yeah. Excellent. Have you tried going through Stacked a little bit further? The MV Pre from Innova Farm, because they're getting ready to release another flavor. And I know you and I have tried some of their other products, but this is one. I've got a tub of it here, but I have yet to crack it open. It's not the sour apple or sweet apple raz flavor that they're getting ready to release. It's one of their older ones.
Say that again?
The MV Pre 2.0 from Innova Farm. Have you tried that one?
Yes. Let me first look which formula this is, because there's a couple different formulas. There was one with Biophytum, and then there was one where they put DMHA back in it.
Yeah, I think the one stateside is Biophytum.
Yeah, nah, they have one with DMHA in it.
The one you have, or because the one on the site that I'm looking at is Biophytum.
Maybe I got an international version of it. Yeah, no, it's because I didn't really, this one with the biophytum in it, I used it. I talked to them about it. I was like, I didn't really care for it.
Mm-hmm.
The DMHA version, however, pretty legit.
Right up your alley? Yeah.
So that's why it was like another one of those examples where, people are like, oh, well, Juglans is DMHA and Biophytum is DMHA. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, Biophytum's got a bunch of other stuff in there. It's got some anti-inflammatory properties. It's got some blood flow properties in there. I mean, it's got a ton of other shit. It's not just, a cloak and dagger for DMHA.
Right. So I don't know. I know it's a big, which ironically enough, because you see it a lot in the UK, even though DMHA you can use it in the UK.
Yeah.
You can't here. You'd think you would see it more here, but I don't see it all that much here. But I know the MV Pre, for me, they really, I know people that like flavors, they did a really good job on the flavors. The NeuroPump, or Nova Pump, that's what they call it, Nova Pump Neuro.
Well, they've got two. Nova Pump Neuro is their nootropic infusion, and Nova Pump is just their regular stim-free pump. Both of them I've run through tubs of both of those, and I really like those a lot. Yeah,
killer flavors too.
Yes. Yeah, everything they do, they're one of the, I mean, it's so hard to say this, but I would say they are one of the best tasting supplement companies I've tried. I mean, their OMG flavor and their sweet tea flavor of the Recover EAAs is...
The watermelon?
I haven't tried the watermelon. I've only tried those.
The watermelon is fucking insane. It is mind-blowing how good that watermelon candy. Really? It's without question the best watermelon flavored supplement I've ever had. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So I haven't had them all, because usually watermelon supplements don't taste that great.
Yeah, they've been done so many times.
Like I remember tasting that one, and I was like, I immediately reached out to them. I was like, what did you do? What did you do this? Tastes like watermelon Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, their flavoring stuff is top notch. Some of the older products in the lineup, like Limitless, was never super stellar tasting. But I mean, when you're taking that, you're not
the job done.
yeah, exactly. Which I've still got a couple of tubs of that are lying around, various iterations of it. Because at one point, I think it had phenylpiracetam in it, so I saved that one for very special occasions. But But yeah, and then their Enduraline, their fat burner, their flavors have gotten better on that because I've tried one of like the version from 2 years ago, and it was their, I don't know if it was pink lemonade or sour razzleberry or something like that. It was just kind of eh. And then the iterations they've released since then, the flavoring has gotten that much better.
Yeah, so it seems like, okay, hey, they've always had good formulas and stuff like that. So now they're sort of adding that extra because we know how it goes. That's a part of the puzzle that usually, you see a lot of companies lately. Inspired comes to mind, where always been big formula driven. Now all of a sudden they're adding these amazing flavors and Nutrabio. We talked about them earlier, so yeah, good to see. I'm a huge fan of NeuroPharm. They make some cool stuff. But you got to try the watermelon candy one. It's insane. Actually, I'm looking. I have some right here. I think I might have to
mix up a little bit and take a sip.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Excellent.
Because I just have water in here. So
yeah. I was gonna say, do you think we'll see any more companies do? Since we're on the topic of EAs and we covered some nootropics earlier, any more brands doing a nootropic infused amino product similar to what we saw with Alpha EA from Nutrabio? I'm surprised that we haven't seen more of that trend because it seems like almost a really natural pairing because you're taking stuff to improve cognitive function. Why not take some stuff to, just support recovery at the same time? Plus, your body uses some of those amino acids to synthesize neurotransmitters.
I think that's just all business. It's all a business move because think about, amino margins are pretty good. I mean, you have aminos are, fairly cheap and stuff like that. So why? For the industry, for your customers, why take two products, combining them into one when you can sell somebody two products?
Right. Yeah.
I appreciate what, but then also think about Nutrabio. One benefit that they have, what they could do with Alpha EA, not only because they do their own manufacturing, they have those products pieced out that they can sell you, and then they have the full one that they can sell you. So if I'm looking from a business perspective, I would probably keep them separate too. But I agree, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Speaking of keeping things separately, when we were talking about the Warrior lineup from Nutrex, we've seen a couple of companies do this. They come out with the Ferrari version of a pre-workout and then the economy line of the pre-workout. How do you feel about having, I guess, competing products? Although you could say they're not really competing because one is a higher price tag, contains premium ingredients, and then you've got a lower one, which is kind of the one you'll probably see on BOGO a lot more. Are you a fan of that? Do you think that's a wise move, since you guys also do some consulting with people and advise them on maybe what's the best course of action to go with their business?
So sometimes I think that it depends if it's a cash flow move only. Because sometimes, like, especially the way things are going right now, supplement sales are down. You're just doing it strictly for cash, cash right now. It's not a long-term plan. It's probably something that you're going to do for right now and then phase out, when things sort of stabilize back. So it really just depends on from company to company. But there's a lot of companies that we work with that they think that the solution to all their problems is to come out with another product. And we really discourage against that. You just see companies sort of, they have trouble selling the one product. So they're like, they look around and they see something, maybe popular in the industry right now. Like, I'm going to make one of those. And I just don't really believe in that stuff. It's like, if you can't sell the products that you already have, then adding another one to the list is really only, at best, is a temporary fix, a temporary Band-Aid. So if you're doing it strictly for cash flow, then okay, that's one thing, but that's not a long-term. And I don't think that's a long-term plan for them either. So you're hoping to stay afloat with certain things, and then, like I said, maybe phase it out, but I guess it would depend on the company, I suppose.
Okay. So yeah, I've always wondered. I'm guessing. I mean, they're trying to release stuff. I guess for everybody's got different budgets, so not everybody can afford, the Morphogen pre-workout or something like Nutrabio's Pre-Extreme, which is packed to the gills with stuff, and it carries a price tag. But at the same time, you could also make the argument if you just take half of a serving of those, you end up probably paying the same amount per scoop as the dumpster fire pre-workouts or the economy pre-workout. So it's, which do you, I guess from the consumer's point, you feel like you're getting a better deal because you get to take a full scoop of something as opposed to a half, but in reality, you're not?
So what we always see also is, and I'll tie this into another product that I really like, is the Like a Pro Pump and Focus product.
Yeah.
So usually what you'll always see is in a budget pre-workout, you get the stimulants,
right, and
then you get shortchanged on performance.
Yeah.
So you're just basically paying for the stimulant effects, and then in some of the more expensive ones, you're getting more performance ingredients. So like you said, I've always told people that. I was like, why don't you just, like, you realize if you take a half a scoop of this, you're still getting more performance ingredients. Yeah. And then if you need to add a little bit more caffeine, like, it's super cheap, just go ahead and do that. But I've never understood that mentality of consumers. I don't even really try to tell people like this stuff because it's just simple math that people don't really like to do. And if you don't want to do that, then I'm not a third grade math teacher, so it's like you're kind of on your own. If you don't understand that, that concept of price per serving, and then that I can't help you. Right. You have bigger problems.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like some people that they ask me about labels and stuff like that, I was like, you want me to fucking read to you? Like, I'm pretty sure you should be able to figure this out by now. Like, I can help you with certain things, but I'm not going to teach you how to read. Like, yeah. that should have been handled a long time ago. Sorry. If you can't do simple math, that's not my job either. So I'm not going to do math for you.
And you said I was heartless earlier. You said I was the asshole because I don't get warm and fuzzy feelings.
Right. Just sometimes, sometimes. Yeah. When it comes to stuff like that, it's like, if we can't, that is just wasting too much time trying to talk about things that don't ultimately get us anywhere. If I have to explain that aspect of it, right. So I get it though.
Good deal, man. Wrapping things up here, what bourbon are you going to be sipping tonight, or whiskey will you be sipping while jamming with the boys from Axe and Sledge?
Probably Blanton's. I actually have just a little bit left of the one bottle. I was really bummed. I told you we drove up to get some Blanton's last week.
No, you said you were going to, but I never heard the aftermath.
Yeah. So there's a spot like right across the street, basically from where I live. Well, not right across the street, but outside of our neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's a small liquor store, really awesome guys. They sell Blanton's for $90, which is
it's a pretty good price. Yeah.
But I don't mind, spending a little bit extra to support those guys or whatever. But there's a place that was about 45 minutes away. And we wanted to take a ride anyway, but they had Blanton's for like 60. I think it was 65. Might have been 60. And I was like, well,
wow.
Let's go take a ride and we'll go pick up some Blanton's.
Yeah.
And I call them, they have it. And we drive up there and they didn't have it. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So
that sucks.
We drove back and I picked some up for 90 instead. But so I just picked up a full bottle of that. I have to finish the one bottle that I bought. I guess it was maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
2 months ago by now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I'm going to finish that off tonight, I think.
Okay. Excellent. Any other new additions to the lineup since we last talked about it, or not?
Yeah, because what did I buy? That it was the label. I saw the label and I was like, oh, it looks really good. What was it called?
Is that the Bellmead one you tried a couple weeks ago, or is it a different one?
No, I almost picked up some Bellmead, but that stuff's expensive too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you get the I guess the single barrel one, because they've got a couple of other economy ones I've seen. But
I picked up this Charles Goodnight.
Oh yeah, the one that you sent me on Saturday when we were talking.
Yeah, because I was like, I just really like the, and the guy there was like, oh yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. It's like very like buttery, which is different than some of the other stuff that I have. So it was good.
The Blazing Cattleman and Texas Ranger Charles Goodnight, 100 proof small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Oh, I'm gonna have to go check our local stores, and see if I can get a bottle of that. Is it good? Just on the rock by itself, or do you need to mix it with make an old fashioned out of it to temper it with some?
I told you, man. The only time I'm gonna have an old fashioned is if somebody makes it for me. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the patience for that at all. Like,
yeah.
It is much better when you let some ice get to it for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was pretty buttery kind of flavored, but you let some ice get to it, and it was really good. I think I had it last week when I was doing the live with Chris. Last week was the first time I tried it. It was very good, and much different than blends, which I like.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're in the mood for, it's like having a different pre-workout.
Gotcha.
What are you in the mood for, kind of thing.
Well said, man. All right, buddy. Well, I know you got some other stuff to get to this afternoon and give you some downtime before your jam session night with the boys over at Axe and Sledge.
But this is the original. This is what I'm here for.
I know, but I understand you're moving on to bigger and better things, so it's cool. It's cool.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Have a good one. I'm sure we'll be in touch as always.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, bye.